Good day. Jack, let's mix it up a little bit this time. Let's
Sure.
try something different.
What's this called? Lodging Insights.
Lodging Insights, correct.
Right? Hello, everyone. My name is Jack Corgel. I'm a senior advisor to PKF Hospitalty Research, CBRE company. Welcome to the next and latest edition of Lodging Insights. I'm joined today by my colleague and good friend, Mark Woodworth. Nice to have you here, Mark.
So good so far.
Keep going. It's nice to have me here.
Something like that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, Mark, tell us a little bit about your views regarding the current situation in the U.S. lodging markets.
It's a practical matter, Jack. They really haven't changed that much. In fact, some of us had the good fortune of being up and participating in the Hotel Data Conference in Nashville last week, where we were inundated with data and statistics and so forth. And the first half of the year, for all intents and purposes, played out exactly as we had expected. And there's nothing that I'm aware of that thinks that at least the balance of the year, again, won't play out just like we have been thinking it would for some time now. And that 2016 should look very good. You know, one of the benefits of having more history, obviously, is we're getting closer to the future, in a sense. So is assuming that you agree with what I just said for the rest of this year at 16, I'm kind of interested in what you're seeing as far as beyond 16 and what's going to happen.
Well, in 2017, there's one certainty. On January 20th, we're going to have a new president. Mm-hmm. We aren't in that forecasting business as yet, but that would be the next fruitful territory, wouldn't it? 2017 is going to be a very interesting year because at that time, for the nation as a whole, supply growth is going to exceed demand growth. Now that seems like really bad news, but we're still not seeing supply growth exceed the long-run average, and demand growth is being pushed down by the tremendous opportunity there is to raise room rates.
So we're seeing that economics 101 phenomena of
Absolutely.
You raise the price, the demand responds negatively.
And that long-anticipated room rate growth in the 5 to 6% range by our forecast will materialize in 17.
Which is within that, if we consider just how low inflation has been, and it seems that this expectation of low for longer with respect to inflation, that mindset continues to persist. It really says that the room rate growth we've seen in real terms has been extraordinary, which historically history tells us that moves the development pipeline along.
It does.
And what's the current thinking as far as how supply? You already said it's going to outpace demand growth in 2017. That makes a lot of sense to me. But is supply growth accelerating at the rate we had been anticipating?
No, it's slower, and it's gradually moving toward long-run average. But we are nowhere near an overbuilt situation in the coming years, especially as early as 2017.
Well, certainly not at the macro level.
No.
Not at the macro level.
But there are some markets which are on our watch list for various reasons. Some related to supply, some related to some energy-related industry effects. Do you want to talk a little bit about?
Yeah, well, let's start with New York, and again, that's been on the watch list for some time now. Just given both on the inventory side, the size, the level of supply growth that we've seen, the exchange rate phenomena. We know what implications that has with respect to inbound demand from outside the U.S.
and the difficult comparisons people have talked about early in this current year.
So on the one hand, it's pretty easy to stay very negative on New York in terms of not getting excited about the future. But at least some of the recent data from SDR says that maybe we kind of hit the bottom and things will start getting.
It appears to be moderating as demand growth is moving along.
But it strikes me a little bit of there's a different thing going on in Miami where we had expected that the new supply, the foreign exchange headwinds, they're going to be catching up, and we're going to see the numbers. We would be seeing the numbers begin to soften and so forth. But that now seems to be happening a little more quickly than we had anticipated. Not to put you too much on the spot, but what's your sense as to why that might be in Miami?
Well, I think it's fundamentally a supply story. We haven't gotten a lot of reports that international travelers have sort of stopped coming by any means, but it's likely that there's some give back in demand by virtue of the exchange rate phenomenon affecting international travelers, but it's largely a supply story.
Okay, and don't really want to get into Houston today. We do know that the downward pressure on oil prices is really hurting demand, and so we're spending a lot of time trying to develop a view as to where that would be. But it does occur to me as we're getting near the end of our time here, are we actually any good at this forecasting stuff?
We recently updated our, well, I hope so.
I hope so too.
Or else we're all going to be fired by Donald Trump or something. But the accuracy analysis series that we've been known to produce, we just updated,
Yeah.
and as in previous accuracy assessments, our forecasting approach being that we are at peaks today, peak occupancy, leaves us a little short on the demand side. So we underestimated demand in the recent forecasting period, but not by a meaningful number.
Yeah, we didn't miss by much. So I think our time is just about up. We do know, again, many of you are thank you for taking your time, again, to hear some of our current thinking. We're sure you're knee-deep in the budgeting process for 2016. We will be releasing our updated forecasts certainly by hopefully by the end of August. You'll be able to go to our website and download that. And we believe, obviously, that you'll find that a very useful tool in helping informing your thinking for what's going to happen next year. And we certainly wish you the best. And Jack, thanks again for your time. And then we look forward to the next edition of Lodging Insights. PKF Hospitality Research and PKF Consulting USA have joined the CBRE Hotels family and have come together to provide a single global source for real estate services and research for the hospitality industry.